Everybody, welcome back to Game Week FC. My name's Travis. What you're looking at right here on my screen is my team from this past week. It's been a while. I had 46 points, a little bit higher than average. I got a couple clean sheets. Tarkowski was huge. Raya, I made some mistakes. I didn't start Tia Anderson. I really should have done that. But I made a really bold move this past week. I captained, as you can see, Mukiele for Sunderland. Now, it's not for I didn't know that he was going to get an assist in this game. I really captained him because I thought Sunderland were going to get a clean sheet against Palace, which they did not. But it was massive that he got an assist plus defensive contribution points. So that made me look really smart. But I was really just going for the clean sheet here. All three of my attackers blanked, which, I mean, how often does that happen? Three best strikers in the EPL right now. My strikers need to do better, but that is what it is. This is my current team. I haven't really mixed it up. I haven't thought about who I want to start or who I want to maybe transfer out yet, but I'll probably do that right now. I think I'll probably sub Tia in for substitute for him for Alderete. Nice, because I think Newcastle have a decent chance of a clean sheet against Villa. Should be fascinating. Tarkowski's been huge. Hopefully he gets another clean sheet. Semenyo, Holland, they should be feasting for goals against Wolves, but you never know with City because, I mean, they go to Bodo Glimt in the Champions League and get their asses kicked. So who knows? But I will probably captain Holland just for the shits and giggles. Because if he gets a hat trick, then I would absolutely regret not having him. Last week was definitely a risk for me. But, all right, guys, that's my team. So let's move on to our differentials because that's what this video is about. Starting off in goal, we got Vicario from Tottenham. He is 6.8% owned. He plays at Burnley. Burnley have the worst XG in the league. They're not great. They're probably, honestly, at this point in the season, they might be the worst team in the league. I don't know. Based off form right now, honestly, Crystal Palace might be the worst. But Burnley aren't great at home. Somehow they play really well when they play away. For example, their tie against Liverpool. Not many people saw that coming. But yeah, I like Vicario in this spot. Burnley, Tottenham just got a big win in the Champions League. They got a clean sheet. Tottenham is just a very weird team. They're hard to predict. But one thing that they have been this season, they've been pretty good when they play away from home. Yeah, basically, it dumbs down to this. Tottenham, when they play away from home in the Premier League, they're good. When they play at home in the Champions League, they're good. When they play at home in the Premier League, they're trash. Maybe the worst team ever. So, Tottenham away at Burnley, terrible. I will absolutely shoot for a clean sheet there with Vicario. Next up, we got Kelleher for Brentford. Brentford have just been chilling at home ever since their loss against Chelsea this past week, which they actually looked really good. They created some really good chances, but they just could not finish. I put a bet on double chance Brentford against Chelsea, and I was absolutely losing my mind because their XG in that game was ridiculous. They should have had like 2 or 3 goals, but they just could not convert. But I like this matchup here. Nottingham Forest playing in the Europa League today, Thursday. So they could be kind of sleepy walking into this game. Brentford have had all week to rest and, really focus on bouncing back from that Chelsea game. Could be a clean sheet on the cards for Brentford. Next up, we got Cucurella versus Cucurella 16% owned. That's a little high for a differential, but honestly, any Chelsea defender will do. he's probably the most likely to start because Rosinier, their new coach, has been kind of experimenting with the back line in the past few games. But kudos to him. He's gotten Chelsea 2 clean sheet wins, one in the Champions League and then one against Brentford, as I mentioned. It seems like the formation that he's playing is kind of focused on, or maybe not focused on, but it's helping them. It's helping them get clean sheets. They might not be creating the most goal scoring opportunities, but I don't know. It's weird. The three in the back is always, I don't know what it is, but it's getting them clean sheets. So I'm going to go with that trend here. Crystal Palace have been awful lately. Their manager has come out and said that he's going to leave at the end of the season. I just heard news that Mateta says that he wants to leave at the end of the season. Their team is falling apart, like pretty simply put. But I don't know, man. I think one guy that I trust is Maxence Lacroix, 6% owned. As you can see, they've actually tied the last 2 home games they've had. But I mean, we all know that Chelsea are going to be trying to win this game. They probably will win this game, if I'm being honest. But I pick Lacroix because I just think defensive contribution points, he's going to get those because Chelsea are going to be attacking intensely pretty much the whole game. And playing at home, you got to have pride. And I think Lacroix is someone that doesn't think that he's bigger than the club. He's not trying to leave. I think he's going to get tons of defensive contribution points. You might be surprised. This game could end 0-0. I don't know, 1-0 Palace if they get an early goal. Figured it's worth a shot. Next up, we got Lisandro Martinez playing at Arsenal. I know this is a crazy pick, but I like him for defensive contribution points. Honestly, the way that we think of Manchester United now should be different. If I'm being totally honest. Now that Carrick has taken charge, they look way more confident. Way more confident. And I just think, Arsenal have not been perfect. They've actually kind of struggled the past few weeks. I know they got a win in the Champions League this week, but I don't know. I like United's chances in this game for some reason. And I think Martinez will get, tons of contribution points, of course. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I had to put a United player in there because I just think they're going to get a point from Arsenal this week. That's just me. Next up, we got Anderson. I watched the first half of the Brighton versus Bournemouth game, and Brighton really struggled to score against Bournemouth. I don't know what it was, like, the way that Brighton play, they play such a, like a, I don't want to say methodical, but like, it's just like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and that's how it has to happen. They're not a super direct team. They just kind of build out of the back, build, and then maybe, I don't know how to even comprehend Brighton at this point, but I just like Fulham at home. I think there's value on them against a team that I watched in the first half who really struggled to score against Bournemouth, who actually have maybe one of the worst defenses in the league based off XGA, expected goals against. They give up a lot of goals, but they did not give up a lot of goals to Brighton, I'll tell you that. And, I think Anderson's prime for some defensive contribution points, and best case scenario, they win 1-0, and Anderson looks like a hero. Next up, we got Lewis Hall. He's been playing really well lately. He had a 9-pointer against Wolves. Obviously, Newcastle have been playing better lately. But I saw this. His XGI looks pretty consistent here. See that? He had 0.15, 0.16, 0.45, 0.17. He had 0.15 against United. He is looking like he's getting into the attacking third a decent amount. 3.2% owned. Lewis Hall. I like his chances of a clean sheet. I think I said that. Maybe I didn't. I don't think I said that actually. Um, oh yeah, I did say that about Malik Fiah. Yeah, Lewis Hall. I like him. He seems like he's becoming the nailed on right back for Newcastle. Yeah, 3.2% owned is a lot of value. Only 5.3 mil. It's actually kind of high for him. But yeah. Next up, we got Kevin Shad, whatever. 2.9% owned. That's kind of surprising. The guy was on fire. He he popped out with a 20-pointer against Bournemouth not too long ago. And then he got, 2 assists. But the reason I picked him, he totally, like I mentioned, Brentford against Chelsea, he had 0.61 XGI against Chelsea. Absolutely should have scored a goal. Absolutely should have scored a goal. 2.9% owned, playing at home. They're going to be well rested against the Forest team. Once again, coming off a Europa League game. I just think they're going to be ready to go. I think Shad is going to be breaking on the counterattacks, and I think he could maybe make up for his missed chances against Chelsea this past weekend. So I like him in there. Next up, we got Florian Wirtz. Once again, Bournemouth, a lot of people thought that they were going to struggle against Brighton because they didn't have Semenyo. That wasn't the case. They can still hit you on a counterattack really well. They got good players without Semenyo. And I don't know. I just think Florian Wirtz he's really starting to contribute more in this Liverpool squad in the attacking part of the field. He's not just making runs for the sake of it and it's not paying off. He's actually starting to pay off in FPL a little bit. And I like him against Bournemouth because Bournemouth just, I don't know. It's hard to say. Sometimes they just leak goals. Sometimes they're very, organized, structured. They will be pushing for goals against Liverpool most likely because they're playing at home. They want to, try to win at home, but that could create chances for Florian Wirtz on the counterattack to create some stuff. Next up, we got James Garner. This guy is one of the most underrated players in FPL, I think. He's only 4% owned. Points per match 4.5. That's ridiculous. Total points 99. But look at this. I mean, this guy has been so consistent in the past pretty much almost all season. Yeah, pretty much all season he's been consistent. 4, 6, 4, 16, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 6. I mean, yeah, that makes total sense. He averages 4.5 points a game. That makes a lot of sense. XGI, this is probably the main reason I picked him. He's actually got a decent XGI for a midfielder. 0.11, 0.44, 0.17, 0.81, 0.16. He's been getting a lot of XGI lately. Now, I think this depends. He's probably been getting into the attack more often because Iliman Ndiaye, Everton's star player who was at AFCON for Senegal, has been gone. But honestly, Ndiaye probably won't play in this game against Leeds still because, he won AFCON not that long ago, not even a week ago. So I like Garner in here again against Leeds. Leeds give up a lot of chances. They're very good. They're a much better team than people thought they were going to be. They create a lot of goal-scoring opportunities, but they do give up opportunities too. So I like Garner in there. Next up, this is maybe one of my favorite differentials right now. Crescencio Somerville for West Ham United. As you can see, He had a 10-pointer the other week, but his XGI has been decent. 1, 2. I mean, it hasn't been fantastic, but I watched the game against Forest not too long ago. He should have scored in that. I don't know why his XG is not great. Tottenham, he did score, but the more I thought about it, the more it makes sense why he's kind of getting opportunities now. West Ham, they signed a new striker. Okay, Castellanos. He was one of my differentials last week. He honestly could be for this week as well. But the West Ham signed Castellanos, and Castellanos is actually a decent player, okay? And he's actually carrying some of the load and creating more space and less attention for Somerville. Castellanos and Bowen are drawing a lot of attention, which is leaving Somerville open. And Somerville is just an overlooked player, I feel like. 0.1% owned. Coming off a 10-pointer, coming off a 4-pointer, playing at home. West Ham have not lost. They've won back-to-back games for the first time since, I don't know, Vietnam. So I just I don't know. I think there's value on West Ham in this matchup. West Ham have to get back into the league, the Premier League, because they've been absolute dog lately. But they got a huge win against Tottenham. I don't mind it. Take Somerville. He could be a huge differential. Next up, we got Marcus Edwards. Once again, a guy who last 2 games, his form has been pretty solid. A goal and assist. Actually, his XGI has been really good. Or not really good, but it's been pretty consistent the last 5 games. Despite only getting 35 minutes against Brighton, he still got 0.17. Yeah, pretty solid at 0.1% owned. Actually, honestly, one of the main reason I picked him was, of course, his form has been decent lately, but also Marcus Edwards. Not many people know he came out of the Tottenham academy system. Okay, and he played in the Tottenham first team. He sat on the bench for just about every game, but Marcus Edwards is actually a very tricky player. Okay, I think he's very talented. I actually used to watch Marcus Edwards highlights when I was like 10 years old, or not 10. I was maybe like 13. I used to watch him because he was such a skilled player, dribbling player. There were videos of him like doing techie stuff, like juggling and dribbling But yeah, I just like this kind of. Maybe it's not revenge, kind of revenge spot. I don't know how he feels towards Tottenham, but I kind of like the revenge idea of him playing against his former team, former academy team, at home. I think there's value in Marcus Edwards. Okay, Burnley, of course, they're one of the worst teams in the league, but I could see Marcus Edwards just putting in getting maybe a last second goal, just maybe they're down 3-0 and he puts one in the 88th minute just for consolation. Just to show that he is a good player that Tottenham should have kept. But yeah, I like that story there. Raul Jimenez, 2.2% owned. Fulham didn't have a great performance against Leeds last week, but they're going to want to bounce back. Prior to that, they were very solid. They have some AFCON guys coming back, which should boost their squad. Playing at home against Brighton, who looked really susceptible to counterattacks and direct play against Bournemouth. And honestly, I think Raul is going to be the end product of any counterattack that Fulham gets. So I think, I would absolutely roll the dice on him playing at home, 2.2% owned. Next up, we got Junior Krupi. He is right now at the moment playing in the same spot as Semenyo on that left side. He's 4.5% owned. I just visualize him scoring a goal against Liverpool. Because he has, last time I checked, he has the best conversion rate for any player in the league. Like per minutes played, Krupke Jr. has the best conversion rate of any player in the league. And if there's any team that, will dominate a game for 90 minutes but give up one opportunity and get scored on, it's Liverpool, okay? And Liverpool is my team, okay? And I just visualize Krupke Jr. just converting the one chance that Bournemouth have, the one quality chance. I see him scoring, honestly. I could see Krupke Jr. scoring a hat trick against us. I'm not even joking. Krupke Jr. is one of the most underrated players in the league. He's only 19 years old, I'm pretty sure. He's going to be a really good player in the future. But with his conversion rate and Liverpool's, I don't even know what it is, clumsiness, sometimes lack of attention to detail. I like Krupke Jr. here. Lastly, we got Yohan Wissa, 1% owned. Guys, he's back. He scored in the Champions League this week. He's back, and he might be coming for that starting striker role. He didn't play very minutes the other day, 1% owned, but I'm going off this Champions League goal. I think his form might continue into the week. Seems like there's some shakiness to Aston Villa at the moment. I don't know. Villa have been playing so well all season, and they're due for some regression. That's what I'm trying to say. And Newcastle are due for some progression. Ha ha. So I like Newcastle's chances in this game. I like them. It feels like they're going to get a couple goals in this game. So, yep, that's all I got for you guys. I appreciate you watching the video. Hope you found it valuable. And as always, make sure to like, subscribe. I appreciate it. It means the world. And I'll see you guys next video. Good luck.